coming back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sin. Be sure to follow us over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join discussion over on Discord, link in description below. If you're enjoying these reviews, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. So I'm up to episode 7 in Amphibia. I say episode 7 because it's the 7th story told, but again, this whole 2 episodes per part, and the episode titles are all mixed up and weird, so I don't know. This is the 7th one that I've seen, so I'm going to just go with that. And I really like this show because it just makes me smile and it makes me laugh. They haven't touched on any of that big cliffhanger at the end of the second part, with like her friend being trapped in this world too, but with all the jokes and references and funny little things, it's nice because after I review a lot of cartoons and shows and stuff, it's nice to watch something that makes you smile and makes you laugh. And episode 7 is pretty dang funny. There's lots of little references here and there. And it opens up and Sprig and Anne are playing some type of version of baseball, but she's using like a scythe. And he's like, it looks like a watermelon type thing. It's pretty cool. I like how everything in this world works in the world. Like, it's not a metal scythe. It's like made from like one of those praying mantis arms. So they use things that would make sense, even though it really doesn't matter in the end. It's just a nice little touch of authenticity in a fantastic fantasy world. But they're playing and she misses, but accidentally throws the whole sickle scythe thing. Almost kills Sprig, but it just chops his hat off. And look, he has like a little tuft of red hair. Can this little guy get any cuter? Like, it's ridiculous. But they go looking for it because they got like launched into the freaking woods. But they hear like a cat meow. And like, oh no, something must be in danger. Then there's these giant like wasp bee things. I don't like bees. And gigantic Volkswagen sized bees would absolutely scare the ever living hell out of me. Like, I wouldn't try to fight these things. But they're trying to like stab this little creature. It's like stuck in the mud. Adam runs in there and saves it. You know, very brave. I mean, this is just some random animal. She didn't have to do that. She sees it and they save it and everything, and it looks a lot like her old cat. It even sounds like a cat. I guess they call it a caterpillar. Get it? And it meows like a cat, and it's black and white. It looks just like her old cat at home. So the jokes, I'm smiling now just thinking back at all the puns and the jokes and everything. She's like, oh, my old cat back home, Domino, she's irreplaceable. But I found a replacement. Like, instantly was able to replace this so-called irreplaceable pet. But she ends up naming it Domino too because it looks just like her. And then it just has, like, you can tell there's something not right with this thing. It's a wild animal. It kind of has a creepy look in its eye. But, of course, Anne is just smitten with this thing. Like, I got to take it home. Anne tries to ask Hop Hop about it. Like, hey, you know, this house is kind of empty. And of course it isn't. It's filled with crap. Like, he's doing, like, in the kitchen. He's just piles of dishes. Like, hey, here, why don't you clean some of these damn dishes? But she's like, oh, what about a pet? And then, of course, Hop Hop's like, no, pets allowed. He, like, starts talking about, I guess they had a pet spider. And while Sprig and Polly loved it, they didn't do any of the work. They didn't take it for walks. They didn't clean up after it. They didn't do any of those things. And Hop Hop was stuck doing everything. So he's like, no pets, because I end up having to do all the work, and I don't want to do that anymore. Instead of Anne making a case for her pet, she just decides, oh, I'm going to just sneak it into the house. Not a very good idea. But then we see Domino 2 is straight up eating Sprig. Like, it's like biting him. She's like, oh no, it's like a playful thing. And it's like licking his leg. He's like, no, Anne, I think this thing's tasting me. It wants to eat me. It's not playing with me. So they end up sneaking him into the her basement room. And little touches like this, I love this kind of stuff, world building type things. Sprig goes down there. It's early morning, so he's gonna check out an Anne. And those little mushrooms that were glowing, they're like touch, so like bioluminescent, and they react to physical touch, so that's how the lights work. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to show us an explanation of, oh, how do they have lights? How do they have these things? It's because it's nature. It's a bioluminescent. That's really cool. In a show that's a lot of fun and a lot of jokes, they didn't have to take the time to give us an actual, without actually having to explain it. Very, very nice. Love that kind of stuff. Get back to the downstairs room. It's covered like in silk. So there's a caterpillar. It's kind of has like spider silk stuff everywhere. And Sprig's freaking out, like, oh my goodness, where's Anne? He wakes her up and he's like, oh, I was worried about you. She's like, oh no, everything's fine. His first night, her first night inside the house, she was a little antsy. And you can see their faces all scratched up. I hate cats. No, okay, I don't hate cats. I just do not prefer to ever have a cat. I can live with it if like someone has a cat and I'm there, that's fine. But I would never personally own a cat. But they keep she's like, oh no, she keeps making excuses. This is not a good situation. But she's like, oh, it's fine. She uses like a little mouse toy, catnip type toy to like keep it, you know, interested. And you can see like in this like little Domino 2's eyes, there's like sprig is in her eyes, like, yeah, she wants to totally eat this dude. Then we get the fun little montages. They do this a lot in this show. She builds like a little cat hotel thing. It sneaks out and eats Hop Pop's food, but they're doing their best to hide the fact that they have a pet. And just like animals do, like brings you this disgusting, nasty, dead little bug and like leaves it in her bed. And I love these gags. I got in trouble for putting a clip in my last video, so I'm gonna try to keep these clips a little small if I put them in. But like first, Anne's disgusted, but then she does like that. Oh, for me? Like there's no words, but you can tell that's what she's saying. Oh, she's so funny. I love this show just for its comedy. It's just so funny. It tries to eat Polly like it's like right there, but then it gets kind of like pulls away. So you know this is gonna end up being a problem. It leaves all kinds of nasty. Before it left one nasty bug, then now it left like a whole mess of them. It's freaking disgusting. And they're playing, and she's reading in bed, and it's laying on her chest. It eats her magazine, but then like she's fine with it. No, this thing's causing trouble, but she misses her cat at home. This is like her surrogate, and she's willing to put up with all this stuff to have that little bit of familiarity. It finally goes to sleep. Like, oh, let's get something to eat. And they go upstairs, and they're just wolfing down food like they haven't eaten all day, which they haven't because they've been chasing after the Domino 2. Hop Pop's like, geez, guys, can you like slow it down? Sprig's like, oh man, we've been running around all day. You know, then but he's like, oh crap, I'm about to spill the beans. He's like, what do you mean you've been running around? Oh, don't worry about that. But then they hear that Domino 2 like cocooned, and of course this is an Aliens reference, the green color, the way that it's sprouted open, like the little pods that the xenomorphs are in, or the facehuggers, and it's transformed. And they're like, oh no, I'm sorry, there's a pet, because he kind of gives Sprig that eye of like, you better tell me the damn truth. He says everything, hey, we found this thing, it reminded Anne of her cat, we brought it home, and Hop Pop's like, holy crap, that's like a thing, it's gonna eat us. It eats amphibians. And it like transforms into this like cat, moth, butterfly looking thing. Again, all the monsters in this show look really cool. This is a cool monster. It's kind of cute. It's super scary at the same time. But yeah, it's very unique. It just has its own flavor. And I like how they take the time to do that with all these different monsters. I mean, look how it's hanging out in the background in this shot. Yeah, that's pretty creepy. But Anne's like, oh, you know, it's still Domino 2 to me. And she tries to like reason with it. And is this a How to Train a Dragon reference? Like she puts their hand on it and everything. It doesn't attack her, but it still runs out and it wants to eat the family. And it's like playing with them, like tossing them in the air and stuff. And even Ed's like, oh crap, as soon as Domino 2 is done having her fun, she's gonna totally eat these guys. And then she's like, I gotta save the family. She remembers, oh, I can use that little mouse thing to like distract it. I mean, look how scary this face is. Whew. You don't want to see this thing in a dark alley, my goodness. And it can fly. She gets it out of the house, and she kind of, it's so silly. She has like flashbacks to things that happened like 3 hours ago. Like they've been like in her mind for years. So she has this little mini flashback, and she's sad that she has to see it go. She throws a little squeaky toy thing into the woods, and it chases after it. She goes home and apologizes. She's like, you know, I just missed my cat at home, and I'm sorry I did this. I didn't know it was going to cause so much trouble, and I hope you understand. And of course, you know, Hop Pop's like, I understand. Like, you think he's going to be mad, but this whole time he was complaining about that old spider pet. He loved it. And we love our pets, you know. I got a pet. I got a dog, Fiona. I'll roll a picture in. She's like crazy hella old now, so she's probably going to die this year. So it'll be super sad for me, but we've had her ever since she was a puppy. But yeah, everyone loves their pets, and you do grow those attachments. The next morning, she's cleaning up, and I love Sprig. He's so sweet, and he's so earnest and kind, and he has such a good heart. I love this little guy. And it's like, yeah, you know, and you got to clean up, and it made a mess, but even though you still kind of miss him, and Sprig's like, oh, you know, picking up a wild animal is not such a bad idea. You know, he's kind of making a joke about her. And then he made her like a little stuffed animal that looks like Domino 2. And he's like, here, you know, I made him, he made him out of her old hairballs. It's so gross. But It looks just like her, but just like a disgusting version. He's like, oh, you hate it. You don't like it. It's disgusting. Of course, Anne loves it because it not only does it look like the pet she's missing, Sprig took the time to do something like this, that he knew his friend would still be a little heartbroken, and he's trying to help her the best way he can. I love Sprig. He's such a cool little dude. Everyone needs a friend like Sprig. He's just so kind and nice, and he just has a good heart, and that goes so much for me. He's not the strongest, he's not the fastest, he's not the smartest, but he has a good, solid heart, and he cares about his friend. So that's going to wrap up episode 7. Like I said earlier, the show just makes me smile. This episode made me smile, made me laugh. I kind of want some more of those other things, but I'll take happy feelings any day over an episode that just sucks. And I haven't had a bad episode. They may be inconsequential, but at least they're fun to watch. They have funny jokes, funny references, and going on to episode 8 after this. Crimson Saint here. Thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single upload. If you have any tips or story ideas, hit us up on Twitter at C15 Podcast, or better yet, join our Discord server, link in the description below.